Hello again, my dear students. Today is a revision on tenses, so it's a grammar lesson. Let's know the objectives of the lesson. We will revise the present simple tense. We will revise the past simple tense. We will revise the present continuous tense. We will revise the past continuous tense. We will revise the present perfect tense. We will revise the future simple tense. And finally, we will revise be going to. Let's start with the present simple tense. You remember the uses of the present simple tense? Let's remember them together. We use it when we speak about habits, regular actions, timetables, and facts. How to form the present simple tense? We use the verb in the infinitive form. Except with the third person singular, we add s or es or ies. For example, I play football every day. We study English every evening. He plays football every day. He works in a big factory. To make negative sentences in the present simple tense, we use don't or doesn't plus the infinitive. And to make questions, we use do or does. Now, let's answer some exercises. Put the correct forms of the verbs into the gaps. Use simple present in the statements. Number 1. We, our dog. We call our dog. Number 2. Emma in the lessons. Emma dreams in the lessons. Number 3. They at birds. They look at birds. Number 4. John home from school. John comes home from school. Number 5. I, my friends. I meet my friends. Number 6. He, the laptop. He repairs the laptop. Number 7. Walter and Frank, hello. Walter and Frank say hello. Number 8. The cat under the tree. The cat sits. Number 9. You water. You drink water. Number 10. She, the lunchbox. She forgets the lunchbox. Complete the other 10 sentences yourself. The past simple tense. We use the past simple tense when we speak about finished or completed actions in the past. How to form the past simple tense? We use the second form of the verb. With regular verbs, we put ed or d if the verb ends in e, or ied if the verb ends in y, preceded by a consonant. And for the irregular verbs, we use the second form of the verb. Now, let's answer some exercises together. Put the correct forms of the verbs into the gaps. Use simple past in the statement. Number 1. They something to drink. They ordered. Number 2. Last summer, I to stagger. I went to stagger. Go is an irregular verb. The second form of go is went. Number 3. She her homework in the afternoon. She did her homework in the afternoon. Number 4. He to 10. He counted. Number 5. Our cat, a big mouse. Our cat caught a big mouse. Number 6. In 2011, our class a trip to Norway. In 2011, our class made a trip. Number 7. The weather really nice. The weather was really nice. Number 8. The secretary the file yesterday. The secretary deleted the file yesterday. Number 9. Powell nothing to me. Powell said nothing to me. Number 10. The people something to each other. The people whispered. Complete the next 10 sentences yourselves. The present continuous tense. We use the present continuous tense to express a temporary action or to express that something is happening at the time of speaking. For example, look, Ahmad is running very fast. Listen, Ali is speaking. To form the present continuous, we start with the subject, then verb to be in the present, am is are plus the gerund. So we use the subject, am is are plus the verb gerund or the verb plus ing. Now let's answer some exercises together. Put the verbs in brackets into the gaps. Use the present continuous tense. Number 1. The teacher, the door. The teacher is not closing the door. Number 2. You, the washing up. It's a question. To form a question, we will start with verb to be at the beginning. So the question will be, are you doing the washing up? Number 3. They, the printers. They are checking the printers. Number 4. It's a question. Is your grandmother looking at birds? Number 5. We, the checkpoint, not to pass. We are not passing the checkpoint. Number 6. They, to help, to try. Are they trying to help? Number 7. She, to the center of the town. She is not walking to the center of the town. Number 8. The policeman into the bank. Are the policemen running into the bank? Number 9. Look, Steve's mother a cup of coffee. Look, Steve's mother is making a cup of coffee. Number 10. Use the words correctly. It's a negative sentence. You are not linking the words correctly. Complete the next 10 sentences yourselves. Now let's move to a very important part of our lesson. It's a comparison between the past simple and the past continuous. As we said, the past simple expresses finished or completed actions, but the past continuous expresses that something was continuing in a particular time in the past. To form the past simple, we use the second form of the verb. But to form the past continuous, we use the subject plus was or were plus the gerund. And if there are more one action in the sentence, we use the past simple with the short action and the past continuous with the longer one. Let's answer some exercises together. Correct the verbs using past simple or past continuous. Number 1. When the postman arrived, my father had a shower. When the postman arrived, my father was having a shower. Number 2. While my brother studied, my grandma made some muffins. While my brother was studying, my grandma made some muffins. Number 3. I told the doctor 2 days ago because I have a terrible headache. I went to the doctor 2 days ago because I was having a terrible headache. Number 4. When I be 10, I eat a sandwich every evening. When I was 10, I was eating a sandwich every evening. Number 5. He missed the train because he talked with some friends. He missed the train because he was talking with some friends. Complete the other sentences yourself. The present perfect tense. Let's revise the most important uses of the present perfect tense. Number 1. Actions which started in the past and are still continuing. Actions started in the past and still continuing. For example, he has lived in Canada for 5 years. He has lived in Canada for 5 years. It means that he started in living in Canada 5 years ago and he is still living there now. Let's have another example. She has worked at the university since 1994. She has worked at the university since 1994. It means that she started working at the university in 1994 and she is still working there now. Number 2. Actions which happened at some unknown time in the past. For example, I have already seen that film. I don't want to see it again. So it doesn't matter when I saw it. Let's have another example. Have you ever been to Germany? Have you ever been to Germany? It doesn't matter when you went. I just wanted to know whether you have been there or not. Number 3. Actions which happened in the past but have an effect in the present. Actions happened in the past but have an effect in the present. For example, I have lost my keys. I have lost my keys. This means that I don't have the keys. They are still missing. To form the present perfect tense, we start with the subject, then has or have according to the subject, and after that the past participle. So subject, have or has, plus the past participle. And for the negative sentences, we use not after have or has. So we say has not or have not. Now let's answer some exercises together. Put the verbs in brackets into the gaps. Use present perfect tense. And mind the signal words if given. Number 1. The students fly to Vienna. Use the verb book. The students have booked a flight to Vienna. Number 2. The cat, a mouse. Just to catch. The cat has just caught a mouse. Number 3. Jack and Brian, this picture. Jack and Brian have drawn this picture. Number 4. He has friends. He has already invited his friends. He has already invited his friends. Number 5. Julia, a table with 3 columns. Julia has made a table with 3 columns. Complete the other sentences yourselves. Now, let's move to the future using will. Let's revise together the uses of will. Number 1. We use when we decide to do something at the time of speaking. For example, oh, you have left the door open. Have I? I will go and shut it. Number 2. We use will for predictions in the remote future. For example, the bridge is not safe. One day it will break down. Number 3. We use will for requests, invitations, and offers or voluntary actions. For example, Will you close the door, please? So it's a request. Will you come to the cinema with me? It's an invitation. That bag is very heavy. I will help you. So it's an offer. Number 4. We generally use will for prediction with the following verbs and phrases: believe, expect, hope, think, wonder, I'm sure, and I'm afraid. For example, I believe he will pass the exam. I hope he will not leave us. I'm afraid he will fail the exam. I'm afraid he will fail the exam. Do you think they will marry? Number 5. We use will with the adverbs perhaps, probably, certainly. We don't use going to in this case. For example, perhaps perhaps they will support you in the election. Let's have another example. Ahmed will probably go to London next year. Number 6. We use will to express promise. For example, I will stop smoking. So it's a promise. Number 7. We use will in a question tag, imperative or imperative. For example, do it today. Will you? Don't look at your friend's paper. Will you? Number 8. We use will to give an order or state our wishes. For example, will you turn on the lights? Number 9. We use will to express an action in necessity in the future. For example, you will have to pay a fine if you don't pay your tax on time. And number 10, we use will for threat. For example, study hard or you will fail. Let's have another example. Give me all your money or you will die. To form a sentence in the future using will, we start with the subject, then will plus infinitive. Subject, will plus infinitive. And for the negative sentences, we put not after will. For example, I will not study French. I will not travel to Germany. Now, let's answer some exercises together. Put the verbs in brackets into the gaps. Use will. Number 1. They back at by 6:30 p.m. They will be back by 6:30 p.m. Number 2. It's a question, so we will start with will. Will you help me? Number 3. It's a question too. When are you again? To see. When will I see you again? Number 4. His parents, him for being late, not to punish. His parents will not punish him for being late. Number 5. It's a question. The contract tonight to sign. Will they sign the contract tonight? Complete the rest of the sentences yourselves. Future using be going to. Let's revise the uses of be going to. Number 1. We use be going to talk about a planned activity for the future. For example, there is a good film on TV tonight. Yes, I know, and I'm going to watch it. Number 2. We use going to for prediction in the near future, when the speaker is sure because there are signs about it. For example, I feel cold. Look at those black clouds. It's going to rain. To form a sentence in the future using be going to, we start with the subject plus am, is, are. Going to plus the infinitive. Subject, am, is, or are. Going to plus the infinitive of the verb. And for the negative sentences, we put not after verb to be. For example, I'm not going to watch the film. Now, let's answer some exercises together. Put the verbs in brackets into the gaps. Use going to. Number 1. She to the stadium. Not to walk. She is not going to walk to the stadium. Number 2. It's a question. You to London. Use the verb to fly. Are you going to fly to London? Number 3. John, anything. Not to eat. John is not going to eat anything. Number 4. She at a composite. Stay. Is she going to stay at a composite? Number 5. What you tomorrow to do? What are you going to do tomorrow? Complete the rest of the sentences yourselves. Now, it's your turn. Correct the verbs between brackets using the suitable tense. There are 10 sentences. Correct the verbs using the suitable tense. This is the end of our lesson. Hoping it was useful. Thank you.